Managing Attorney of the Legal Aid Office in the branch office in Waco, Texas. And we're happy this afternoon to be joined by Vince Erickson from the Heart of Texas Region MHMR. Hi, Vince.
Cheryl, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
It's my honor to be here with you.
Thank you. Before we get started, I want to say this presentation is intended to serve as legal information and does not replace legal advice. Contact Lone Star Legal Aid at 1-800-733-8394 or go to www.lonestarlegal.org for more assistance on legal assistance. Vince, the reason we invited you to come and talk with us today was to discuss with us the Texans Recovering Together program, which is kind of a new project for this area. Could you just start off by giving us kind of an overview of what the program is?
Absolutely. I'd be glad to, Cheryl. And thank you. Once again, it is an honor to be here with you. It is an honor to be here with our audience out here because there's something that we all have in common. And right now it is uncertainty. Because of COVID-19, we are living in a very uncertain world right now. A lot of our networks have been disrupted. Our lives have been disrupted. Texans Recovering Together is a certainty in these times of uncertainty. What we are is a federally grant-funded program to offer mental health and emotional support for anybody affected directly or indirectly by COVID-19 or the Texas winter storm this past February. But both of them really wreaked havoc on Central Texas and our state, and COVID-19 really around the world. What the program does is we offer free and anonymous emotional support for anybody who just needs that extra oomph and bit of support that may be going through some anxiety, some depression, fatigue, COVID fatigue. Oh my gosh, Zoom fatigue. How many Zoom have we been on these things? Zoom fatigue. There are some people that did not go out of their house for a year because of COVID. They were sheltered in place. These things play upon our emotions, which play upon our emotional health. Well, there is a place that you can go with qualified professionals who will meet you on your terms, either by a meeting, a virtual meeting, a phone call, or a one-on-one where we are socially distanced and have the proper protocols in place to make sure that we stay safe and that you all out there in our Central Texas area stay safe. We help you realize that you're having a very normal reaction to a most not only abnormal event, but an unprecedented event. Cheryl, do you remember anything like this at all happening?
No.
We haven't had
in my lifetime has been like this. No.
And nothing probably in your mom and dad's lifetime of that. No, my mother just turned 94 and she's never been through anything like this. Now, parents back in the early 20s, when you're in the late teens, early 20s, you had a pandemic during that time. Nothing like this. And with our technology and everything sped up the way it is and things coming to a screeching halt, it has played havoc on our emotions and on our emotional health. So what we are is a way for folks to be able to come in, be able to talk about it, have some folks listen, and just help you realize it's a very normal reaction to a very abnormal and unprecedented event, to help you realize your own personal resources and also community resources like Lone Star Legal Aid that are out there to help people recover and cope with this disaster.
I know that a lot of people are familiar with the MHMR office here locally and in this region. Could you tell us which counties are covered by the Heart of Texas region? And could you tell us how this program is a little bit different from just what we know of as MHMR? I don't think people have to come and apply like they would have in the past for services. If you could explain the difference a little bit.
And that's an excellent question, Sherilyn. Thank you for that. The Heart of Texas Region MHMR Center is proud to serve our 6-county, what we call our catchment area or our region, which is McLennan County, Bosque, Freestone, Limestone, and Hill counties, again, as well as McLennan County, 6-county area. MHMR, the Heart of Texas Region MHMR Center, it is Friday afternoon after all. We have so many different services for adult mental health, for children's mental health through the Claris Center for Families, early childhood intervention for the babies aged birth to 3, substance use services, substance abuse services, also the Veterans One Stop over on LaSalle, a unit of the Heart of Texas Region MHMR Center. And also we have our Human Resources Department does community trainings, things like tobacco cessation. We have mental health first aid, which is a certification that anybody can take, and really is designed for first responders, for law enforcement, and for anybody who really cares about other people to help them be a first responder before first responders arrive, being able to understand some things they can see and be able to get somebody some help before in that time the first responders get there, what to look for. Along the lines of, I don't want to call it suicide prevention, but being able to spot the signs of some mental difficulties to get someone the help they need before the official help arrives. So many different things that we do. And of course, our IDD, our individual developments and disabilities services, and the homes that we have and assisting the community there. And then, of course, what we're talking about right now, the Texans Recovery and Together Crisis Counseling Program is very different than the rest of the services from MHMR. Ours is a service. We do not create caseloads. We have an 866 phone line, which I will share with everybody here very soon, and also a website that I will share with you, and also a QR code on all of our materials to where you can access it on your phone. The difference is that number one, we are community-based and outreach-based in short term. That means that we go out in the community and talk to people and get their feedback. We do community events. We partner with organizations like Lone Star Legal Aid here, food banks, faith-based organizations, churches that have different outreaches, Meals on Wheels, etc. We want to make sure that we have our services available to anybody and everybody. And again, it's free. This is a service. Involves no payment whatsoever. Also, it's anonymous. We don't take any identifying information at all. When someone calls us on our 866-576-1101 line, we then only ask a first name and a contact number, and that's it, pretty much. And then some demographic information as we get to know a survivor. And we call people who are, we are all disaster survivors because this is a federal disaster. Making sure there's no identifying information. It's also confidential. We don't keep any files. We take the demographic information, we upload it into a program to where we can make sure we're serving all of the populations of our community, whether it be our African-American brothers and sisters, our Latino and Hispanic brothers and sisters. We have provided services for Asian Americans. Also, regardless of gender, regardless of identification, regardless of age, we want to make sure that all of our populations are getting the services that they need if they have been affected directly or indirectly by COVID-19. So you're not going to come into an office. We're going to come to you, phone call, virtual meeting, out in public places. We believe what you tell us on what we call prima facie, at first look, on what you're telling us. We're not there to delve into your childhood. No, it's not like that. This is disaster recovery. So that's what makes it very different. And then we go into the assumption and the anticipation that oftentimes one visit will do it. And let me give you a story on that, if I may. We had a gentleman named Frank give us a call a few months back. Now, Frank saw one of our stories on one of the local media, one of the local TV stations, and Frank was very distraught because he couldn't sleep. He thought he had COVID-19. He had all the symptoms. And in calling us, he is at his last stroke. He could not go to sleep. He drove to get tested negative, but still couldn't get back to sleep because he didn't want to go out and catch it because he was so afraid and anxious, but he didn't like staying alone and being sheltered in place because that made him anxious. He just could not go to sleep. So we were able to then have one of our qualified professionals, master's level people, be able to help him get some resources of what he needed to get him to where he felt comfortable going back to sleep and where he knew he wasn't alone. That's what we do. We simply help people help themselves, and that's it. Once that's done, we take those records, shredder. This is what we just want to make sure is that short-term outreach-based counseling and emotional support for anybody who's been affected directly or indirectly by COVID-19. Once again, Frank didn't have COVID, but he was sure affected by it, wasn't he? Because he had to stay in place where we're social beings, most of us. And his circle got interrupted. Didn't have the people he needed around him. He was alone, and things can happen then. One phone call helped that gentleman for all he needed. There are some folks we have talked 4 or 5 or 6 times with. We've made sure that there's different follow-ups, and they follow up with us to get them on their road to recovery. And if there's things that we cannot handle, if there's something that one of our departments and one of our divisions in MHMR, we will refer to that division. If someone is calling us needing legal assistance, we can then refer them to Lone Star Legal Aid. If there's someone who's having food shortages, we can direct them to a food bank. If they simply need, if there's a group of people that just like, you know what, we're together, we don't know quite what to do, we'll create a group and have them be able to talk amongst themselves and create their own solutions for things. So we're that catch in between. Really intense mental health. This is not. This is acute mental health and emotional support. The ultimate ideal on this, and I want to make sure that everybody understands this. This is to keep our medical systems from getting overloaded, our mental health system from getting overloaded, and really, if you look at it, the judicial and the law enforcement systems from getting overloaded. We know that COVID-19 did that last year. We know with the Delta variant right now, you're seeing cases amp up. The Lambda variant is not that far behind. This virus has shown that it will mutate. We want to be there to be ready so that our systems and the people that are helping are not overloaded as they are.
That sounds great. And one thing you mentioned, I think you said that sometimes people only need assistance one time, but other people may need follow-ups, or can they actually come back a second time if it's a few months later and they need something else?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it hits people at different times. One of the things we're finding, and after this, we'll go ahead, I've got a short presentation to show you some of the numbers and some of the things that we're also seeing, but I want to let you know that we also track the different reactions that people have. And overwhelmingly during the part where you saw cases going up and when they started to go down, 36% of all reactions were emotional, and about 50% of those was anxiety and being fearful. And we all, if you've ever had anxiety, if anybody out there, you ever had anxiety, you know what that does. It keeps you from sleeping. You don't eat right. It may not eat well. You may be irritable. You don't want to go out. You don't want to stay put. You're just in a place where you're not okay where you are. And over time, that can really wear you down. As the cases started to go down, as they did over the last few months before they started amping up again, we found that grief, that sadness and tearful was the primary reaction. It got up to where it was almost 45% of reactions. And that comes from, look at what we missed over the last year. Some of us missed graduations. Some of us missed vacations. Some of us, there are some people who didn't get to go to funerals of loved ones. They missed so much. The grief of loss was intense with this. And that wears on our mental and our emotional faculties. And when you may not want to go into an office to discuss that and have to pay for it, we have a service here. This is what this is designed for. It's that interim stopgap, mental health and emotional support. That again, that is free. It doesn't cost a dime. It is confidential. It's between you and the counselor, and it is anonymous because there are no case files, and we take zero identifying information. If we'd like to, we can go ahead and put up the presentation if you have that there. We call it Certainty Despite Uncertainty in the COVID-19 Surge. And what we want to do is just, again, help you realize exactly what we are, and then the different numbers of the number of people that we've been able to help. Once again, certainty despite the uncertainty surrounding the COVID-19 surge. Texans Recovering Together on the next page, crisis counseling program. This is what we are. It is a federally funded short-term outreach-based approach of offering emotional support for anybody in McLennan, Bosque, Falls, Hill, Freestone, and Limestone counties who have been affected directly or indirectly by the COVID-19 disaster and the recent winter storm disaster. Again, the services are anonymous, confidential, and free. Now, who have we helped? Well, I can tell you this right now. I'm going to give you these numbers and then the overall numbers from October 1st to July 1st. October 1st of 2022, June 30th or July 1st of this year. This was the first period of what we called, of our grant called the RSP, or the regular services period. And the primary services that we offer, again, that is individual and family encounters. Those are for longer than 15 minutes. And then you have your brief encounters for less than 15 minutes, and group encounters that we've had with groups of people longer than 15 minutes. From that period, you see there almost 1,800 individual family encounters during that time. On the group encounters, 58 total, and that's 780 survivors. That's 780 people that got together, and we did public education. One of the public education events that we did was one on COVID and vaping, COVID and wellness, COVID and first responders, COVID and frontline healthcare workers. Being able to help them because they oftentimes are helping other people, school staff, who's helping them. They're dealing with these things too, if not even more, because their systems have been disrupted. And then for the encounters less than 15 minutes, for that's an in-person, brief, public education, emotional support encounters, little over 13,250. I will tell you that since that period, and from October 1st to now, July 31st, 19,279 primary services. That's 19,279 people in our 6-county area who have accessed and have been provided our primary, free, anonymous, and confidential services. Every single one of them free, every single one of them anonymous. And now, as far as the populations go, you can see we are here for everybody, in particular what we call the vulnerable populations. And with COVID, we all have been vulnerable. We have all been affected. Even our staff of crisis counselors and outreach workers, and those of us in the administration of this, we have had staff, 20% of our staff tested positive for COVID-19. Every single one of us has been exposed at least 5 times, several of us double digits, primary exposure to COVID-19. So right there, we are survivors along with all of you. We're literally in that same boat. The diverse populations, first responders, frontline medical workers, people sheltered in place or isolated, that's a big population. People needing to be connected to community resources. And this is the one where I really would love to be able to have your full attention on this one, because that's what we're here for. Lone Star Legal Aid is one of the great resources in our community that we can, if someone needs legal aid or something, we can refer there. If someone has food scarcity, we can refer to a food bank. If there's more intensive mental health and emotional health services that we need, we can refer to here at MHMR to one of our many fine divisions. Again, faith-based groups, long-term care facilities. We can set up groups. We have 2 groups set up at long-term care facilities, people who are alone. So we want to make sure that we are not only supporting this program, but also referring to the community supports that are already there, and many, many, many others. Who can we help, and how can we best help you? Well, number one, letting you know that we are anonymous. We collect 0 identifying information. Okay. In other words, no one's going to be able to identify you talk to us. We keep everything confidential. 0 case files, none. We simply fill out some demographic information that you volunteer to us. If you don't want to volunteer that, you don't have to. Our goal is to make sure you cope with and recover from this disaster. And most important on this, and this is what is different than anything else that we do, it's short-term and outreach-oriented, designed to aid in coping with and recovering from these 2 declared disasters. And once again, that is COVID-19, and that is also the Texas winter storm. Now, what do we understand? We are empathetic people. We are part of the community. It's hard, to talk to somebody who doesn't go through what we go through what you go through on a daily basis. In particular, we found this true with first responders and with frontline medical workers, to where literally one of the pieces that someone shared with us was that, do your people go through the same daily grind of death and grief that we do? It's easier to vent to a coworker. We've had other folks say, you know what, it's just part of our culture. We keep this within the family. We take care of our own. We understand and we honor that. It's when it gets to the point, and our response has been, if you are a frontline medical worker, if you are a first responder, when the coworker can't get you through that next step, when they may be going through the very same thing and all you can do is vent to each other, but nothing is getting better. And you don't want to have it talk to somebody and have it recorded and documented. No, that's what we're here for. We're here to help people recover, because it's oftentimes all it takes when we are impaired like that, and we're anxious, we're fearful, we're depressed, we can't sleep, we're having we're having different kinds of problems, money problems, legal problems. We just can't see the forest from the trees, to pardon the cliche. Well, oftentimes it's just knowing that there are people there that say, hey, these are some options that you have. These are some options that we can show you and get you hooked up to. And that's all it takes. It's just not being alone. So yes, while we may not get it, we understand we're not going to understand your daily struggle. We struggle with the very same things, and that's why we have qualified professionals to help you get through that. And that there are community resources available. Again, Lone Star Legal Aid being one of them, the food banks that we talked about, Meals on Wheels, different nonprofits around town. We also are in a coalition with the McLennan County Homeless Coalition, where the homeless, again, we want to make sure that we have access to our services too. We want to make sure that everybody gets recovered, to stay out of that emergency room, to stay out of the medical system, to stay out of the judicial systems. And it is our responsibility to link survivors to resources to aid in recovery. That, being culturally aware and linking people to the resources they need, if it goes beyond our scope of practice, to be able to help this community recover. Now, how do we respond? Very simply, we are trained professionals who are survivors too. Just to reiterate, 20% of our staff have tested positive for COVID-19 and have had it. All of us have been exposed. At least half of us have been exposed multiple times. My wife, who is a speech pathologist with the early childhood intervention here at MHMR, the ECI program, she's been exposed at least 18 times. And that means quarantining. That means very little contact with her husband. very little contact, if any, with our 14 and 11-year-olds. We have 2 children. How does that disrupt their routine? We are trained, though, to help. We are survivors along with you. So while we may understand, we can understand, we will be decent human beings and use 2 ears and 1 mouth. Promise that. We are trained to help co-workers and colleagues too. We are here to help the helpers with emotional support in individual or group setting, and really, again, decrease the overload of our health systems. That is vital. And it's vital right now that this happens, because we don't want that. You don't want to have hospitals turning people away. You don't want to have that overload there. That simply causes all kinds of breakdowns, and we don't need any more breakdowns. We've been through it once. Let's not go through it again. We are an avenue for that. All right, how can you check us out? Now is the fun part. This part where if you have your phones out, get them out, because we have 2 ways you can get a hold of us and access our services. We have a full service website. It is at www.trthotccp.org, and you can scan that QR code right there and get to see what we're all about. Now, there's some worthless trivia for you. Let's have a little fun here. The website does have meaning to it. TRT is for Texans Recovering Together. HOT is for Heart of Texas, and CCP is for Crisis Counseling Program.org. So we like to have some meaning behind some things. So you can access it that way. You'll find we have 5 different pages. 1 describes what exactly we are. 2, the services that we do offer. The 3rd one is who we have served by county. You can hover over that county and see how many people in that county have received primary services from our program. And also CCP in the community. We take photos. We want you to know we're out there with you. We're at those food banks. I've got a photo here, and Cheryl will be okay. I'm going to share a photo I took. I got a slide, took one down here a little bit. But I want to make sure we get a record of this. And as the PowerPoint went down, and I'll probably, hopefully they can get that back up here in just a second. But we wanted folks to know that we are in the community with you. We do events. I'm going to be out at the Back to School Bash tomorrow at Brazos East Park from 2 to 6. So we just want to make sure that you know about that. And then we also have a phone number, 866-576-1101. I will put that in the chat box for everybody. And just to let you know, offering certainty in uncertain times, and we are fully funded through January of 2022. Yes, this is a temporary program, but oftentimes recovery from disasters is a very temporary thing. We were initially supposed to end the program on June 30th. However, because of COVID-19 and because of the Texas winter storm, the damage that many people suffered, physical damage to their homes, to their vehicles, to things, to their property. That was exacerbated or made worse by COVID. So in an unprecedented move, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, and SAMHSA, which is the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, extended our grant through January of 2022 because the need for our services, the need to decrease that anxiety, the need to decrease the depression, the need to decrease the sadness and fearful and the grief, to give people the extra support they need on an anonymous and on a free basis to get recovered from these 2 disasters. So we're letting you know that we are going to be here. We are fully funded, and we are available on all the different pages of that website. You'll find that there's a contact number there. There's also a link to emotional support and counseling. It simply takes a contact number and a first name. We will get back to you if it's after hours within an hour of the next business day. We do believe in being as a program within the Heart of Texas Region MHMR Center. We strive to deliver accessible, caring, and responsive support services to anybody who accesses the crisis counseling program.
That is all terrific. Can you clarify, do they also offer services in, like, for example, in Spanish, if somebody is not an English speaker?
That's a great question. I sure appreciate you asking that, because yes, we do. Number one, we have all of the flyers that we send out. We make sure we make them in Spanish too. And we do have bilingual staff. We have bilingual counselors. Our media liaison, a wonderful young lady, Tanya Ledesma, is also bilingual. She's going to be on the radio here very soon. She goes on La Mejor and La Ley. They allow us to come on and to speak to our Spanish speaking audiences. So we do. And I want to also just remember, let everybody know that we are a diverse team here as well. One of the cornerstones of Texans Recovering Together, the crisis counseling program, is the understanding of your community and being culturally aware and culturally humble. Cultural humility is a big part of what we're doing here, and being able to communicate in Spanish for a lot of our Spanish speakers. We have also had 2 young ladies of Asian descent on our staff. We have African Americans on our staff. We make sure that we are age-wise represented across the spectrum, people in our 20s, 30s, 40s, and a few of us even in our 50s. Also, we want to make sure that we have the makeup gender-wise. We have men, women, we have some older women, younger men. I'm the old man of the bunch, and that's fine with me. We want to make sure that we're representative of the community, so that if folks, they see someone that's like them, has had many of the same experiences that they may have gone through, that recognizes and honors their culture and honors their background and honors their language, that's helping the community recover. That's why we are one among you. So yes, we do have the Spanish language, and we send out, we make sure we get those out. We try to put out something new each and every week, because let's face it, things change each and every week. You know, you got people going back to school right now. I fully expect to have a phone call, a bunch of phone calls in that first week, because I've got an 11-year-old. I got a 14-year-old starting high school. Oh my goodness. So we are people in your community like you. We are diverse like you. We are serving a diverse community like yours. We are you, and we want to be accessible to you.
If someone gets in touch, and this would be, yeah, I guess, about, not for a referral, but about a mental health issue, do they, and I know you said it was anonymous, but is somebody going to diagnose them with something, or try to force them to have, you know, more treatment, or get medication or anything, or that, I guess that's what would pop into my mind if I thought that they were going to contact you, and that might be something that people were not interested in. Could you expand on that a little bit?
Absolutely, and that's a fantastic question. No, we do not diagnose. We do not diagnose anything. We do not make conjecture. We are simply here to listen, to believe what people tell us on face value, on what you say, because that's where it is anonymous and confidential. We don't keep any case files. There's nothing to diagnose. And so many times the research has shown that just having that extra bit, and even if it's more than mental health, it's more emotional health and more of emotional support. Oftentimes it's just somebody, again, let me give you another story. I had a lady named Cece who gave us a call, and Cece was a elderly or senior citizen. Cece just says, I have no one to talk to. I have nobody to talk to, and this virus has me at my house, and I can't do anything. No, that's not how you. Again, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not going to go outside my scope of practice, but someone just needs someone to talk to. That's pretty simple right there. You had Frank, again, the gentleman we talked about earlier, who couldn't sleep. He just needed to know that somebody was there to be able to give him some options, that because of the anxiety that he was going through, just being a decent human being. So no, there's no diagnoses involved. We are now we do provide what we call psychoeducation, and those are different things that people can do to keep themselves well. And most of the time is just knowing that they're not alone. Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. We're not going to go delving into childhoods or anything like that. Now, if there's persistent things that are going on that do need much more intensive, we can then refer there. But we don't do that ourselves. No, that's not what we're here for. That's beyond our scope of practice. This short term, it's outreach based. It's in where the survivor is comfortable, on a phone call, on a virtual meeting, or even face to face if we have proper social distancing and protocols, et cetera, to make sure that we're all staying safe. No identifying information, no diagnosis whatsoever. You're just going to get that short-term support you need to get you on your way to get recovered.
Okay. And can you talk about, and I know you talked about some about the diversity about your staff, the people that are providing assistance, are they trained as counselors or are they professional people? Can you describe a little bit about the backgrounds of your staff?
Absolutely. We are what you call paraprofessionals. The counseling staff is master's degree minimum. And either in social work or in counseling, we have both. And then there are those of us who are, again, we are lay, they won't call us lay professionals. Oftentimes what will happen is if a counselor is not available, one of us still needs to talk, be able to listen to someone and be able to get them where they need to go. I've talked to several people myself. And then be able to get them to a counselor when they needed that help. We have to go through not only our master's level counselors, but our professionals. They also have to go through what we call our CCP training, our crisis counseling training from FEMA and from SAMHSA. For those of us just joining us, FEMA is the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and SAMHSA is the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. We have required trainings that teach us what we can do to, number one, be good listeners, be empathetic, be able to repeat back what people are saying, and then be able to get them where they need to go for recovery. The more intensive services would be more for someone who is trained in that kind of counseling. But that's not what we do. This is short term. This is outreach based. So we do have the master's level professionals as the counselors. Those of us on the administrative side, again, my background is in communications, but being able to communicate things, again, in a very simple way to where people can get it. And oftentimes the people that I've talked to, and men, I talked to Frank is the gentleman I talked to, was able to get him. He was actually outside of our area. He was in another county near here, but was able to get him referred to the local mental health authority that does Texans Recovering Together services in that county, and got him taken care of that way. So we're here to help each other out. But yes, we are qualified professionals. And those of us who are paraprofessionals, we are highly trained through our federal partners to make sure that we are able to take those phone calls, be a good listener, and get them where they need to go. But also just to be able to provide that ear, both of them oftentimes, able to just say, you're not alone. You have another human being here with you. I'm going to get you. If I can't help you, I will find someone that will.
Sounds perfect. I think you had given or provided a video or short video tape of
yes,
some kind of a spot. Could we watch that?
That'd be super. I'd love to show you some of my work.
That'd be great.
As we used to say in the business, we are having technical difficulties.
We may be. I don't see it just now. So really, in addition to being trained professionals or paraprofessionals, y'all have your staff has additional training for just this kind of critical care and emergency response is what.
Absolutely. And the biggest thing is that if it comes down to, if it's something, for instance, we have had some people that have said, don't know what to do. I'm so down right now. And we find out it is COVID related. I just don't want to go on. We then get them to immediate crisis care. We are not, I'll tell you what we are not. We are not the crisis immediate crisis counseling. That's for someone like what we call our mobile crisis outreach team, MPOT. That's them to handle. This is for COVID-19 emotional support, not emergency support. It takes a little more intense. But we are wanting to be there for those folks that are just need that extra oomph. And more than anything, also, remember, I want folks out there right now. It may not be you right now, but it may be your mom, maybe your dad. It may be a family member. It may be someone very close to you. It may be a spouse. It may be a nephew. It may have been a child or someone that you saw on one of your social media. If the time's not now, we want to plant the seeds and let people know that we are here till January 30th of 2022. But if it's not time now, it may be. We're going to be here. And I think this video that we have will more or less drive that point home.
That is a great one. You know,
How's
really,
how's that in a nutshell?
that's terrific in a nutshell. I think everybody has just, it's been such a roller coaster over the last year and a half, really, for everyone, and with every aspect of our lives being affected by it, and all the people we try to work with and assist, it has impacted many people even more than us individually. So I think the program is terrific, and I really, really appreciate you coming on to describe it to us, and hopefully people will know they can use the QR code, they can use the website, the phone number. I think you gave a phone number as well. All three of those are ways to get access to this terrific program. Is there anything else you would like to add, Vince, that we didn't cover yet?
Well, and I just want to let folks know that we are one of the many services that the Heart of Texas Region MHMR Center offers to make sure that we are not only good in the community, but good for the community. We're more than just that place where people come to get their meds. We're more than just that place where people come to, deal with that mental stuff. No, we're not. We're here to make sure that we deal with we call it consumer or the client from birth all the way until the golden years of our lives. This is also National Wellness Month, by the way. August is National Wellness Month. And mental wellness is one of 8 different dimensions. You have mental, you have physical, you've got spiritual, you have occupational, you have intellectual, you have environmental, you have social, and you have occupational wellness. All these things are so balanced. But what COVID-19 done? It's disrupted every single one of them. Not been well over the last year. We have been struggling to stay well. So we want to make sure that the Heart of Texas Region MHMR Center is a service organization to make sure that we are doing state business, to make sure that our adult mental health is good, making sure that we have the services available for those people that may need that on whatever level it is, for the Clara Center for Families, which now is, we've also been recently certified one of 24 what we call Certified Community Behavioral Health Clinics, or CCBHC, which now is outcomes based, to where we get people to where they need to get and they get a lot more say in what they do. We collaborate for behavioral health and for physical health. And as you see many of our flyers here, we cover the whole gamut of what we do. We are here for the community. Part of the Clara Center for Families also is for young teens who may be homeless, people who are homeless. Yeah, recently, matter of fact, there'll be a story on the news tonight on on the CBS affiliate here in Central Texas, talking about the 100 days. If I have that here, the 100 days of youth housing challenge with two other agencies. I believe it is the Cove is one of them, and I'm trying to think here. I have that. I wasn't ready for that. It happens. Yes, it's going to be the Clara Center for Families, the Cove, and the Family Abuse Center. Making sure that we don't have as many homeless folks. We are an organization that is vital for our community, and we cover so many different things. And what you're looking at here, Texans Recovering Together, is only one of them. We have a full service website that goes into all of our different programs. Again, adult mental health. You've got the Clara Center for Families, early childhood intervention. That is for babies through 3 years old. Again, my wife is a speech pathologist. There's also occupational therapy. There's also early childhood interventionists there. And then you have the substance abuse programs that we have. The Veterans One Stop is one of our fine units there. And again, HR training. We're going to be offering different trainings to the community to make sure that folks have the resources they need personally and offer different continuing education units. We want to make sure our community is safe, our community is vital, and that we are connected through all the different organizations, nonprofits, and other businesses that we can do to make sure that we have not only a vibrant and safe community, but a vibrant and safe region.
Well, we certainly appreciate what MHMR has been to the community for years, decades, and how much support it provides to all of us. And it is definitely part of the web of services that has helped people through many years. But this new Texans Recovering Together is a terrific program, and we appreciate you informing us about it today. And we appreciate you heading it up and getting the word out about it. Thank you so very much.
And Cheryl, thank you. And thank you for all you do at Lone Star Legal Aid for helping the people of our community doing what you do. You're a vital service, and all of us are here to help each other out. So if ever we can help in any way, we will. And we appreciate you, your forum here. And if anybody ever has any questions, just, that phone line's right over there. And we do. And I promise you this, and I'll end with this. We believe in our mission. Once again, we strive to provide accessible, caring, and responsive support services for anybody, individual, family, coping with mental illness, substance use, developmental delays, and intellectual disabilities and emotional conflict. Everything we do comes from that mission, and especially on the Texans Recovering Together. Recovery is vital for that, and that's what we are here for.
That is so terrific, especially at the end of this. As the end of this year is coming up, and COVID seems to be getting worse again. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon and informing us about this project and bringing the flyers and everything. We appreciate it.
I'm glad to help, Cheryl. It's been an honor. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.